The morning sun barely pierced the fog over Daying Chuang, a sleepy county in Shaanxi, China, when the first missing person flyers appeared on April 4th, 2016. They were plastered on every lamppost, shop window, and alley wall, each one screaming for answers about Lu Fong, a 30-year-old mother of two who'd vanished without a trace. Her face stared out from the grainy photos. Bright eyes, a confident smile, a woman too vibrant to just disappear. Her husband, Wang Chong, was the one behind the flyers, playing part of a heartbroken man searching for his wife. But beneath the surface of this quiet rural town, a darker story was unraveling, one that would expose betrayal, rage, and a chilling cover-up. Lu Fong was no stranger to Daying Chuang. 9 years earlier, she left her family's farm in Daying Shuyan, 70 kilometers away, to marry into Wang's family. She was outgoing, loved dressing sharp, and had a knack for turning heads. But on that April morning, she was gone. Wang told everyone she'd stormed out after a fight, headed back to her parents' home in Daying Shuyan. He described her leaving at 8 or 9 a.m., dressed in black, her words sharp from the argument they'd had the night before. Their two kids, ages 6 and 10, were left crying for their mom, their lives upended. Wang's story seemed plausible, until it didn't. The police station in Daying Chuang buzzed with tension as Lu's family arrived 2 days later, on April 6th, to report her missing. Her sisters were adamant. Lu Fong would never abandon her kids without a word. She wasn't the type to run off, especially not after her father's death just weeks earlier, during the Lunar New Year. Tradition demanded she visit her parents' home for memorial rites, but she hadn't shown up. Rumors swirled through the village. Some whispered she'd run off with a lover, others that she fled her marriage in a fit of anger, but her family wasn't buying it. They pointed fingers at Wang Chong, whose calm demeanor and vague answers raised red flags. The police dug deeper, and cracks in Wang's story began to show. Lu's sisters insisted she owned no black jacket, contradicting Wang's description of her last outfit. Stranger still, her makeup, skincare products, and personal items were all left behind in their small, 3-room brick house. Lu was meticulous about her appearance, never stepping out without looking polished. Why would she leave without her essentials? The sisters' suspicions grew darker when they recalled Wang's history of violence. Lu had come to them before, bruised and shaken, after fights with her husband. Was this disappearance more than just a marital spat? Daying Chuang's police, led by a seasoned detective named Officer Zhang, took the case seriously. The house, with its red iron gate facing the main road, offered no immediate clues. Wang's parents and younger brother lived in the adjacent rooms, but they claimed ignorance. Lu often visited her parents, they said, so they assumed she'd gone there. Zhang wasn't convinced. He ordered a sweep of Lu's social connections, suspecting her outgoing nature and social media presence might hold answers. Could she have left with an online friend, been kidnapped, or worse, deceived? The investigation zeroed in on Fong Chong, Lu's old middle school classmate, and a local taxi driver. Village gossip painted him as a potential lover, a rumor fueled by their frequent contact. Lu had called him 2 days before her disappearance, asking for a ride to Daying Shuyan. Fong admitted the call, but swore he hadn't seen her since. His GPS data backed him up. He was in Daying Chuang for just 10 minutes on April 4th before returning to Daying Shuyan. Witnesses confirmed his story, ruling him out. But the rumors of an affair lingered, adding a controversial twist. Had Lu been unfaithful, or was this just small-town slander? Zhang's team hit a wall. No one saw Lu leave the village, despite the busy main road. Buses and local drivers reported no sightings. A theory emerged. Maybe she took a back mountain path to avoid notice. But spring rains had washed away any tracks, and police dogs found nothing. Wang provided a new detail. Lu had taken an iPhone, a few thousand yuan in cash, and a bank card loaded with 1.5 million yen, about 12,000 US dollars, his earnings from 3 grueling years working in Japan. The phone, a gift from Wang, was traced but had been off since 2 a.m. on April 4th. The bank card showed no activity. Another dead end. As days turned into weeks, Wang's behavior grew stranger. Unlike most frantic spouses, he was eerily composed, visiting the police station with casual questions like, "Any news?" Zhang's gut told him something was off. Lu's family, meanwhile, was relentless, showing up daily, their grief turning to fury. They accused Wang outright, citing his temper and past abuse. Lu's sister, May, recounted finding bruises on Lu's arms and face years earlier. "He's hiding something," she insisted. She wouldn't leave her kids like this. The investigation took a darker turn when Wang's brother, still living at home, let slip a crucial detail. On the night of April 3rd, he'd overheard a heated argument between Wang and Lu, escalating to what sounded like a physical fight. Around 10:30 p.m., Wang called him from inside the house, asking if the kids were asleep. Why call when they were under the same roof? The brother thought it odd but brushed it off. Zhang didn't. This, combined with the neighbor's testimony, blew Wang's story apart. The neighbor, driving his sick child to a hospital at 5 a.m. on April 4th, had seen Wang outside, pacing near the gate, hours before he claimed to have woken up. Zhang's team shifted gears, treating the case as a potential homicide with Wang as the prime suspect. They confiscated his passport, citing paperwork issues, to prevent him from fleeing to Japan, where he'd worked from 2012 to 2015. Wang's backstory added fuel to the fire. He'd spent 3 years as a laborer in a Japanese factory, enduring grueling hours in isolation to send money home. Lu, meanwhile, raised their kids alone in Dain-Shuyan, living with her parents. The distance had strained their marriage, and rumors of Lu's infidelity, especially with Feng Chang, had reached Wang before he returned. Had jealousy pushed him over the edge? Nearly a month after Lu's disappearance, on April 10th, a breakthrough came. In a river 3 kilometers from Wang's house, police found a bag confirmed by Lu's sister as hers. Inside were only cosmetics, no phone, no cash, no bank card, contradicting Wang's claims. Nearby, cigarette butts tested positive for Wang's DNA. He was a heavy smoker, a detail Zhang filed away. The evidence was mounting, but Wang doubled down, plastering more flyers around town. To Zhang, it felt like a desperate act to throw them off. Lu's family saw it as a cruel taunt, escalating tensions. They stormed Wang's house, demanding answers, their shouts echoing through the village. On April 12th, 38 days after Lu's disappearance, Zhang orchestrated a final confrontation. He brought Wang in, starting with small talk about his time in Japan. Wang opened up, describing the backbreaking work, the loneliness, the meals of discounted scraps to save every yen for his family. He bought Lu an iPhone as a homecoming gift, a symbol of his devotion. Zhang nodded, then pivoted, mentioning a recent murder in Dain-Shuyan, a wife killed by her husband after years apart. Wang's face twitched, his composure cracking. Zhang pressed harder, laying out the inconsistencies. The neighbors citing the cigarette butts, the bag. Wang's eyes darted, his hands trembling. After a tense silence, he broke, sobbing uncontrollably. "I didn't mean to kill her," Wang cried. He led police to a pear orchard behind his house, a place he knew well from childhood. After 3 hours of digging, they found her, Lu Feng, her body charred and buried in a mountain crevice. The sight was horrific, even for seasoned officers. DNA confirmed her identity. An autopsy revealed strangulation marks on her neck, her hyoid bone and cervical spine fractured. Wang's story poured out. On April 3rd, they'd fought over a revoked driver's license. Lu had demanded his brother pay 10,000 yuan to cover the relicensing fee, calling it his fault. The argument escalated and Wang, enraged, grabbed her throat to stop her shouting. "I just wanted her to be quiet," he said. "I didn't know she'd stop breathing." But his actions after told a different story. He'd waited until midnight, called his brother to ensure no one was awake, then carried Lu's body to the orchard. Using 5 liters of gasoline, he burned her remains, banking on the recent rain and off-season quiet to hide his crime. The flyers, the fake story about her leaving for Dain-Shuyan. It was all performance, a perfect crime to buy time. He admitted he hoped to delay discovery until his youngest son turned 6, a twisted attempt to shield his children from the truth. The motive ran deeper than a single fight. Wang's 3 years in Japan had left him bitter. He'd slaved away, sending every yen to Lu, only to return to whispers of her affair with Feng Chang. Her changing her phone number before his return, Her vague answers about her whereabouts and her 3 demands for divorce in 4 months fueled his paranoia. Lou, too, had her struggles. Alone with 2 kids, she'd lean on friends like Fong, who'd recently divorced. Their past as middle school sweethearts sparked gossip, and though her sister urged her to keep distance, Lou's loneliness had drawn her closer to him, whether it was an affair or just companionship. It was enough to ignite Wong's jealousy. The village was stunned. Wong, the hard-working husband who'd sacrificed for his family, was now a murderer. Lou's family was shattered. Her children left to grow up with their grandparents, haunted by a tragedy they couldn't yet grasp. The case exposed a raw nerve in rural China, the toll of labor migration. Millions left home for better jobs, but the distance toward marriages, breeding resentment and mistrust. Wong felt unappreciated, his sacrifices ignored. Lou felt abandoned, her loneliness unaddressed. Their mutual bitterness, left to fester, had erupted in violence. Zhang reflected on the case as it closed. In just over 20 days, they'd unraveled Wong's web of lies, but the victory felt hollow. 2 children were orphaned, a family broken. The controversy of Lou's rumored affair lingered, with some villagers blaming her for pushing Wong to the edge, while others saw her as a victim of a patriarchal system that demanded her silence. The truth was messier. Both were trapped in a cycle of sacrifice and expectation, neither able to bridge the gap. The case became a grim lesson in dying Truong. Families torn apart by distance needed more than money to survive. They needed trust, communication, and a shared commitment to their children. Wong's remorse, if genuine, came too late. As he sat in a cell, awaiting trial, the pair orchard stood silent, a haunting reminder of a love turned lethal. Lou Fong's story, once a mystery on a flyer, was now a warning etched into the heart of a small town, a tragedy born of separation and secrets.